Hello and welcome to the next episode. Now, we left off struggling to find the last province which is missing for our To the Rhine and the Danube border mission, and I have to admit I didn't find it. So I checked around and I'm not sure where the mistake is. Maybe something is coded poorly here, but we are going to just ignore it. The question is what we want to do long term here now. So we do have Russia here to the east, and we do have us here to the south, and the Mediterranean more or less. And we're going to integrate these three here, and Wales eventually to finish up the empire in its full extent. I'm considering if you maybe want to make an attack over here in northern England, and maybe also something here in Germania. But I'm not sure if I really want to do this. So I want to play a little bit ahead here. Definitely restore the Empire's borders here. But I'm not sure if I want to extend outward and instead maybe just focus on economy stuff here. Talking about that, we have to do a lot of conversions. And yeah, that's going to be a thing. So we do have all these ships here. I'm not sure where to send them currently. Could send them somewhere. Like maybe the North Sea here. We do have merchants there, right? How about the Western Baltics? Yeah, let's do this. So we more or less have three power blocks here now. Russia, me, and Bohemia to a certain extent, but we already crushed Bohemia multiple times, so they don't really count anymore. And also we are significantly ahead in everything now. We could also just switch focus now to the east here, and maybe conquer Arabia. Or really, they're all dying now. Take this one, the philosopher here. Maybe take Arabia and Iraq here. But I'm not sure I want to. So that's a thing. We do have a lot of state property apparently again. Yeah, a little bit. So let's get rid of the extraction here. So prepare reform. That should help. 470, that's good. That should get rid of all the state property for the moment. Then we can do the same in a few years with agriculture again after the next integration, probably. When we took Bayern München here. And we give out farmland again. So yeah. The problem is that the conversions will just take time. There's nothing we can do to speed it up. Just due to the fact that we only have 5 missionaries and we can't get more. At least not that I know of. And yeah, so we are pretty much stuck on that. And as you can see here, the Eastern Empire is pretty much resolved. But this here will take a long time. Of course, Western Europe is a little bit in our favor because it just came out of the Reformation, which is still ongoing. So the minorities here, for example, let's pick Paris here. If we check it out in detail, we do have 50% Catholics, 10% Huguenots, and 27% Orthodox already. So the conversion will be relatively quickly because it's not 90% something like we had to do here, or 100% Sunni as we did in Egypt and the Levant. So that was helpful, of course. But yeah, not that easy in the end. There's a rebellion upcoming somewhere. Oh, it's that one province we took, probably. Yes, so let's just station the army on it. And now we are going to just use the money that we are making to improve our infrastructure here. I think I already started building something here in the capital. Yes, I'm building more capitals. Upgrading this to level 3. I'm considering if you maybe want to go further up now. And push more growth into this province here. We do have 95% throughput on commerce. Didn't I just throw money into that? I think I recall that I threw like 400 money into it. So maybe we just do this again here. But apparently there's a lot of demand for commerce because it went up to 1,300. I think it was at 1,000 a few years ago. And the industrial is down to 43% throughput. Yeah, so that's low. That's why we're seeing 3.7k growth. That's a lot. But also we see 0.2 promotions into burgers. That's really a lot as well. And if you check out what we trade in, it's a huge amount of food, 11.k value. And exotics, raw materials are a lot as well. Consumer goods, decent. So it's a mixed bag of, ooh, exotics, 15k almost. That's a lot. So yeah, our Constantinople is trading on the world market like crazy here. We could also consider to soonish make the Suez Canal just to open up this path here. But it will cost 12,000. I'm not sure that I want to pay 12,000 here. So that would be a lot of cash. And now we just help him out here. What we also want to do, which is also not going to be super easy, is continuing to reform the nobility here. The problem is that the next one will require us to push them down to 55% strength. And we are far away from this. So we're going to take this one here. Do we? Yeah, why not? We dropped to 20% provincial corruption. That's really low. And then the aristocrats get in charge. That's okay. We just do a grain dole here. And continue onwards. Now, to open up the most important map mode here for the moment, it's communication efficiency. So we still need to solve the Georgian bits here and the steps, which is probably relatively easy when we just do some pathings. More complex will be the bits here in the west. So I'm going to focus on that now, starting with West Africa, North Africa here, which we already started to improve on. That's why these provinces are no longer 100%. So we need to think about what exactly we are going to do here. And we already started building up amenities here in these provinces. I'm not sure if I want to make a capital in any of those here. Probably yes, but I'm not sure in which one. Maybe this one and this one. So Tlemcen, what was Tlemcen, and then Marrakesh down here. But we still need pathings afterwards. And then we take care of Spain afterwards. This one will be very complicated. We already started building up Marseille, I think, this one. Oh, we can continue here. Its amenities apparently decayed a bit, which is a problem. And not irrigation, amenities the 3 here. We want to keep it growing, and then eventually put a capital in there. We have to do something about it, yes. I think we also need to get going on the level 7 harborage here in the capital. And then we have to change the receiving harborages. So, for example, this one is only level 2. We can upgrade this to level 4 as well. It will improve, and then it receives from 4292, which is Tinocon. This one here. So this one has a harborage level 1. I'm not sure if that's the right choice here. But I don't think the harbораges are that great here, right? Minus 33%. Nothing here. Yeah, we could build up Alexandria. It's already Harborage 3. Is it all one river? Let's see. Yeah, this is all one river, so we could theoretically go from here to here. This song is really chasing me. So we could build these two up here. This one is currently at 82%, and this one is at 78%. So probably this is a little bit farther, so that... I mean, the biggest cost between these things is most of the time the embarkation cost. So we could easily drive this one up. 78%, and this one is 77. Okay, so there's basically no loss between these provinces here. Rivers are so powerful. Okay, and yeah, so we're just going to continue, save up some cash, save up some stuff, and investigate if we can continue reforming our nobility here and continue converting stuff. But I do think I'm going to lay back a bit on the conquests here. So stop them. Because we don't necessarily have to do anything here in the east. It would only be more provinces we have to convert. So let's focus rather on building up what we got here. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, yes, a small heads up. Not a lot has happened in between, but we integrated Bavaria. And we got pulled into a war against Kazakh again here in the east, which Russia did on its own. I didn't really do anything. But meanwhile, we have got started on Project North Africa here. So, for example, we are building harborage infrastructures here in this port, which is closest for Marrakesh, which we are building up with pathings here now. The same we do here in Sigar, where we build a harborage and amenities for the city to grow. And we are already constructing pathings here between Fez, what was once Fez, and Lemshan over here. So they are getting connected. Next step would now be to pick the most remote provinces like these ones here, to get them started at least on pathing 1. So like this, and also these ones here. Probably also this one makes sense. Right. This one doesn't really have a lot of population, so we don't do this one. And then we do pathing 1 here. Okay, we almost can pay for this. So let's do it. Close. Next month. Now, the religious developments are nice. So Hispania is getting there, halfway done by now. We also have some developments here in France, which are also slowly converting to the right direction here, the correct faith here. But it's a slow process, as I already mentioned. But it will be... I think in the next 50 years we can convert all provinces to 50% at least. And then we can go back to picking certain regions which to convert fully. Which depends on the culture conversion progress that we have. And also the autonomies that we can produce until that point. Okay, so now we do have enough money. Let's do it. Perfect. And now the next project, because this needs to be done first, and I'm not going to start here further stuff. I'm probably going to queue up a little bit of stuff here in Constantinople itself again, if we can. Soon we can again. So probably harborage level 7 here. And also we need to consider how we want to deal here. So probably we have to build up a little bit of the Danubian harborages here. That should also be worth it. So you can see here currently, so this is 100% of course. And we do have around 80% here in the major ports. But we even have, how much here? 46%, 167, where's the 167? Calaton. Okay, Calaton gets from... Constantinople itself and is currently at 52%. So this is really good already. I think we can get everything to 80%. Or at least, except for the really remote oases here. I think that's a nice goal for the campaign. To get more or less everything to 0 autonomy. So we currently are far away from this. But I want to also switch into the appointed reform again. Those who followed the playthrough, we picked that very early on to get the autonomies down. So we are going to do this again soonish when we can afford it. Currently we do have a little bit of a struggle here with our stability. And that's of course a problem. Because we are doing a lot of things at the same time. We are trying to strike down on the nobility here to get their power down. So we are only losing 0.4 power. Despite having the demote nobility active currently, which costs us a lot of stability. And of course they are losing a lot of wealth. So I think we started at around 520,000, so we are down to 470,000. So that's really decent already. I mean, that's like 50,000 loss, so 10% is gone already from their wealth. And we are going to do another hit on them right now. The big question is just what is the most... we could do another farmland one here. Ooh. They wouldn't like that. So maybe we can do mines instead. Let's see. They wouldn't threaten civil war if we do the mining. So I think we're going to do the mines for this time. We don't lose the stability outright, but we get a penalty again of 25%. So I'm going to do this here. Just to reduce their income even further. And therefore make them even weaker. We need this to make this work out in the end. And of course all our peasants and residents will get richer now. Which is a good thing in the end. We don't need the nobility anymore. But it will be still a long way until we get to 55% power. But even if we continue going down the power by 0.5 now per year. 55 is right. 55, yeah. So we are still basically 14% away from that. So that would take 28 years if we continue at 0.5%, which is fast. This is not going to be that simple here. But with more wealth disappearing from their pockets, it will be much simpler for us because they will lose power from the loss of wealth. So because they have this 2.3.5 factor on power modifying here, which we target particularly right now. And we can see here that their income from properties is almost 14,000 of their 21,000 income. So that's 2/3. And of course they still have feudal dues and property dues, which are still there due to the feudal dues here. Because they still get a little bit of resident wealth and burger wealth here. And the peasant, let me see, so it scales with 1 minus freedom. So it would disappear. No, there's still a share. There's still a little bit of a peasantry income getting transferred to the aristocracy nobility here. So that's, we cannot get rid of all the feudal dues here, but it will get better for us if we can cut down on the property here. And let's see if we can pull off farmland soonish. That would be nice. Meanwhile, we annex Wales next, and then we go into Friesland and Luxembourg here, which are of course the next targets here. We had a little bit of unlucky events here. So we went into a regency in between, and then we got Johannes on the throne here. But he's not super great, and he is also trusting, which gives us more corruption again. So potentially we wait for Johannes here, Rukorovich, in 15 years, so we can maybe... Oh, yeah, some more extra cash to get that going, but yeah, not sure. But what we can do now is use our points here a bit. So we do have some stuff available, and we could... Let's see... Take the military tax rail here. So 45 is currently the maximum. So we would be close to the ninth idea group already if we continue like this. I mean, I wanted to, or I still consider doing the culture ideas here, and I'm going to pick that. And I think I'm going to progress towards this, so 200 per. So we could get to academic endowments, which is what I want, to get the 10% culture conversion boost. So we're going to do exactly this, but we're going to stop here for the moment. And then we can continue forward here. And yeah, let's pick also plus 2% more resources here. State property capacity doesn't really matter for us. But now we do have the question, what will be the next idea group? We could already go into agrarian, which will get us massive boosts here. We could alternatively wait for industrial, but we can only have one of those. Agrarian got buffed in the last versions. Irrigation infrastructure cost reduction is nice. Agriculture skill is good. Pasture output peasant needs. And woodworking skill. State property capacity plus 100. Oh, there's also one interesting. Peasant growth 1%. I buffed that for the next patch. Yearly centralization minus 0.5. Interesting. I mean, it's nice, but it's... I mean, the best stuff about it is actually the irrigation reduction cost here. I mean, you could just take the first idea here. And just let it be. Alternatively, we take something like administrative ideas, which will be useful in many things. Stability time, corruption here, more communication efficiency and corruption from autonomy, plus 2.5% admin efficiency. But we could also consider the same to do here with empire ideas, which reduces pathing and capitals. So it's all reducing costs for us. We could also go into fortification, it's probably not worth it. No. But ooh, -2 national unrest is of course nice here. On our size by now. Civilian life. All nice and neat here, but is it worth it though? Or we just take economic ideas, just hammer down on the fact that we are going to just build up our country now. That reduces costs globally for everything. I mean, it's very powerful to be picked early because of the scaling effect of everything, but I don't know. So yeah, we have to think about this for a while until we make a decision here. But we are not in a hurry here. So let's pick one more there. Let's also improve relations again with Russia here. What, we don't have a royal match? Oh, we do. Okay. Where did I just send it? Oh, not to Russia. There we go. I don't think it makes sense to improve relations with Europe at all. Whatever's going on here, let them. Oh, this is a mess apparently. Yeah, so we are improving a lot of things currently at the same time. And there's another map mode I'm paying attention to because that's something I'm going to work on next as well. That's the amenities map mode here. So we do have some provinces which are terrible in regards to amenities currently. And I do think I want to focus on them a bit so that we get our urban growth back positive again. So we can see, of course, the provinces which we invested into already for our harborage projects. But we still have a lot of provinces which are really far behind. Ooh, Kafir here has really decayed apparently. So maybe that is something we should fix right now with an amenities 4. But yeah, I'm going to go through my stuff here to see what we can do. Like these ones you probably need amenities 3. Oh, this one needs 4 actually. So let's get started with this one as well. Yeah, we can't afford it. It's going to be really expensive, but I think I'm going to go from region to region to fix the amenities here one by one. Most important or most expensive will be Northern Italy, of course, because it's super urbanized. But we do also have decent rural populations everywhere. No, that's a rural population. Let's pick urban population here. Of course, Constantinople is leading with 460,000. But we also do have a little bit of MEIOU 9, so almost 150,000 in some provinces here, which is pretty decent. But of course, most of our countryside is not urbanized at all, and I'm not going to change this. I think actually I'm going to wait for industrialization ideas here. I'm not going to pick agrarian, which means we are going to wait for 51 to pick industrial here. But then the question is, what do we pick as 6th here? And we could pick naval ideas to just reduce the costs of our navy and improve it. It's not really worth it either. Or we just hammer down on admin ideas here. Yep. But for that moment, we are going to just continue here and improve whatever we can. Okay, that's it. Luxembourg is annexed, and with that, we have our borders clean and nicely here. Maybe not clean, but we do have it nicely here now. And with that, we have restored our Roman borders. Pretty much, at least. I think there's still the Armenian mission left, which we could do. When we get out of the war with the Timurids here, whatever, which have pulled Russia pulled us into that. So we can just get the 3rd army over here. Let's move here. Those ones to Circassia and this to Tigris here. No. Vitilia for the moment. And then we can attack here and get that bit also resolved. But for now, we do have reached what we wanted to reach in regards to our empire size. And of course, we could also still go for Germania here. Bohemia just annexed all of Denmark. So they are also going ham, which means that whatever we take is mostly from Bohemia relatively soonish. We could just take Jülich-Kliefberg here again, everything that is left of it, and then go for the rest. Meanwhile, we got rid of the centers of reformation here and continue to convert stuff. As you can see here now, it's progressing slowly. We also still have the Nile bits here, which are still not resolved. So this one here, for example, still has 53% Sunni, despite being in our hands for 150 years by now. So that's a lot of time. And yeah, the North African bits here also are still a problem. But yeah, I guess we are going to get it done eventually. And yeah, so there is this war ongoing. It takes forever now. I don't really want to get involved there with my whole army because I'm not really interested in that. Now, meanwhile, we have also been improving more stuff here. So all these infrastructure projects we talked about are ongoing. I made a lot of stuff here in Italy, as we can see here in all these tooltips, which are telling us that something is getting constructed. So we invested a lot into amenities here to get the, well, get it positive again. Here. But we're still far away from this. But the worst instances are now slowly getting covered. We still need to solve some edges here, like this one. There we go. And I guess the next project we are going to save up for... I mean, we solved Italy, we solved Northern Africa, we solved the cities here. We didn't solve some of the province of Castile we did, but we didn't solve France here. So that's a thing still, but I'm not going to do this right now. I'm going to do some other projects first. Like we are going to build up here the Constantinople itself. Fun fact here in Constantinople is all of our industries here maxed out, so rural stuff is no longer possible. What's quite interesting is that we bugged out the UI here because our commerce is too big now. We do have 2,500 commerce size now, which is outputting 733 commerce, which is a lot, and it's yielding 1,500 value in output, which is crazy. But it also requires 26 naval as input. And speaking of inputs, what might be interesting to see now, because we now have the empire complete, is our census. So let's see, let's start with population. We do have 72 million peasants. We still have... Wow, wait a second, we have 72 million, yeah, 72 million. And we are growing by 500k a year. So that's a lot. And we have 83,000 of those moving into residence here. We still have 500,000 nomads left. They are still growing a little bit. And but more moving into residents or peasants than they are growing. So the step here is slowly transforming out of nomadism here. The residents here, on average, they are still declining, which is due to all these amenities deficits we have. But we are getting 83,000 from migration. That's all the peasants we saw. Yeah, aristocrats 800k. Burghers 286,000 by now. That's pretty good. Natural change is only 1089. That can't be. Or do we have declining city? Okay, that might be. We actually have declining cities. So we do have a growth of 0.337 here. But let's see, do we have cities like here? No, even those ones are growing. I'm not sure. Maybe some other cities are shrinking because they're getting out-competed here. Clergy is growing a little bit. Yeah, perfect. And then we check also industry here. We have a massive food surplus. That's really good still. I mean, we still have Egypt, so that was to be expected. But I was already thinking that it might be worse than this. Salt is still fine, but we are going to get into a crunch here because there's not much left probably. Fiber is in a deficit, interestingly enough. Fuel is okay. Raw materials is a huge overproduction. Exotics, of course, a deficit. That's okay. Timber is also a deficit. We could open some more timber industries. Luxury is overproduced, that's good. Consumer is fine, relatively fine. Military is good. Naval is okay, that's good. It's very important. Industrial also overproduced, so in general we are really good here. And our autonomy, we can now see certain effects here from this river, for example. We are still going to build up Marseille further. We can also see the effects here from the capital here. So that's good. But these will only get better over time. We still, of course, have all the minority problems here in North Africa. And also in the western bits here and here the German bits. But at least the Italian and eastern parts are pretty solid now. What I want to do as soon as we can afford it... Oh, wait a second, we do have armies somewhere. Oh, we can group them up here. Make them one army here. And then we can just put them on automatic sieging again. Come on. So they just go through everything they can here. And loot it for me. Well, I said I'm not going to commit more stuff there. Was there 1,000 somewhere? What's that doing here? Okay, let's send that to Constantinople here. So, what also might be interesting is to see the migration. So we see that most of the people are migrating into the polis itself. And we have cities, regions like here in the Caucasus where the people are moving away from. Also here, but why here? Oh, because it's almost maxed out. Interesting. Fine. We still want to build up this one though, because we want to build the Suez Canal soonish. Well, not soonish, but eventually. So that's interesting. Pretty good. And of course here Constantinople is growing by 4,000 a year. Birth is 2,000, immigration is 2,000. I think we could push up the migration even further, but we don't really need to dump the money in there. Commerce is also at 78%. That's good. And yeah, the city is massive now. Of course, still nothing compared to some of the Chinese cities here, but we are on a good path of making this the capital of the world, which is also a goal I want to achieve. Currently, we are still the largest city on the continent, but yeah. What is also progressing in the background is the... Okay, oh, booster Teutons here. Can do this. Bye-bye. We can... Really? This only costs us less than 81? 79. Funny. So let's take up here and dip now, because all the integrations are done that we have to do. And what I just wanted to say is there is something ticking in the background, which is academia. So we can see here that academia is slowly progressing, and Constantinople will be the first to get it relatively soon. But academia is spreading pretty quickly in general, so that's going to be quite fast in regards to embracing it. It will get us a massive amount of 50% of education skills, so our knowledge output will go up significantly. Fashion skill will also be nice because it will boost up the luxury cloth industries here, making therefore the production of those cheaper. So it will reduce labor. And labor here is not the biggest input anymore, but it's 78, 178 for fiber, 53 for industrial. Yeah, so spending will significantly be reduced from the less labor they have to pay. So we can afford a lot more industries afterwards, which is going to be really nice. And yeah, we should check our prices though. What is our economy? How does it look like? Ah, that's the wrong page here. So we do have food relatively cheap at 3.4. And salt and fiber are also in an okayish price range. Fuel is really low, actually, with 3.8. Raw 5, timber 6.5. Exotics is high, of course, because we don't have a production of exotics. So we are buying everything. Consumer is decently low, military is low. Naval is as expected, relatively high, but we are consuming massive amounts with our commerce here. Industry is surprisingly cheap. And yeah, everything is really cheap in my empire, I have to say. Could look a lot worse. So our economy here is really booming. And that's probably also why we do have these high growth rates of peasants. And we have also other cities here. Now, where's Lombardy? Oh, it was already this one. Yeah, even they are growing again. So good, good, good. Of course, there's still a lot of stuff we can invest into. So, for example, forest, probably we do have massive amounts available somewhere. Oh. Yeah, that's over here in the colony. That's, of course, not a big surprise. What else do we have? Maximum mines. Oh no, not maximum mines, but we want potential mines. And there's still a lot available. It's not exploited by us here at all? No, it is, but it's... What's that? It's a coal mine probably, right? Coal and metal. Nice. So this province can grow a lot if it wants to, but it doesn't really want to currently. So we have a lot of metal still available and coal here, which we are not exploiting at all. And the prices are still relatively low. Farmlands is probably going down significantly by now. Yeah, still the steppes here. Everything else is pretty much filled out already, despite us not investing heavily into it. I invested some cash from time to time into the steppes here, but not really hard. We could change this now if we want to. Potential fish. How much is there left? Basically nothing. Probably we have some in the... Yeah, here in the colonies as well. Yeah, we don't really invest into the colonies at all. So that's pretty good. And the big problem is that we are going to be maxed out relatively soonish. Okay, so now... yeah, we can invest into the capital here again. Corruption is really down to 10% here in the capital as well. That's good. You can see here that the nobles only have 31% power in Constantinople itself, so they really took a beating here already. Long term, we are going to probably also go after the clergy here. Well, that's still a while away. So in our country, so that we have pretty low corruption overall. Oh, we do have a little bit of state property again. We can transfer farmland again if we want to. Probably we should do this. Prepare resources farmland here. We can't interact with the nobility currently because they don't like us, so that's all as usual on that front. So let's give that to... Yes. There we go. So that's also solved now. But the nobility at least is going down still. So we remember we started at 520,000 wealth. We are down to 440 now, so 80k are gone. And they still decline by 6,000 per year. And the power is going down by 0.5 still, roughly. But at least we have reached the point where we are no longer seeing an increase in power from their wealth. So that's good. And we are still cutting down on their properties here. So we already reduced them by 10% roughly. We can also take the industrial array. That should also be very profitable for them. So that's in total going to be quite nice. So let's see, for example, how much property do they have here? Industrial is... wait a second. Peasants, residents, burghers, nobles, clergy. They have 70% here. Making a decent amount of profit from this. The number here is also bugging out. It's quite funny. So it's just way too profitable here. Yeah, commerce is growing like crazy, and I think we are still not maxed out here. So we are still growing by 0.337 burgers per year, which is really a lot. That's like 1.5% per year. That's a lot. That's a really... plus birth also, so even they have a little birth as well. Let's see here. Food trade has increased actually to 18,000 wealth. And yeah, exotics is also with 19,000 and timber with almost 12,000. We're importing a lot from Veliki Novgorod apparently, from Russia. That's interesting. Knowledge we are exporting in our realm. Interesting. So probably, I think it's a good idea that we take over this bit here. We should check something because I mean, I already know the answer, but I mean, the answer to the exotic production will be here in India, but I don't want to conquer down there. So we can make a trade map mode here. Let's see where we can acquire exotics. Entire world, and then get like very steep here. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best. No, that was a bad color scale. So we change this to... I'll color scheme. Red, white, green. That's better for my eyes here. Yeah, a lot better. So we see here that's the tea region. And then the spices and tea are here. Then here's spices. It's ivory. Right? Or is it something else? It's ivory here. We do have access to this region by trade. And we also have the stuff here. But there's nothing we can do immediately about it. We can, of course, take over this bits here. And go into Iraq here to get a better connection into India, but I don't think that will do much here. There's also the fur trade over here from Russia, which we can access to a certain degree. Let's see where they are currently. So, ooh, they have a big city here by now. Yeah, they maxed this out. That game industry? Yeah, most of it is game industry. But also timber is very profitable up here, which they can sell to us. Yeah, in total, pretty good, economic-wise. We're going to get a pretty decent push from academia here. Because of knowledge and higher luxury goods. And that's more or less the last economic thing we get after. Then it's only industrialization at the end. Which of course is a massive boost again, which is still far away though. I mean, industrialization requires what? Admin Tech 44, scientific method in commercialization. One of the following after year 1750, or Admin Tech 56. So, Admin Tech 56. We have currently 47. The 100 years from now. Okay, so it's easier probably to get to the... No, it's relatively the same. So in 1760 we get the technology requirement, or we get the year requirement. So the tech requirement will be easier to get in like 1730, maybe. Maybe. So that's still like 90, 80 years away from now. If we push it, which we don't. But we could consider to switch into an admin focus soon. How many admin ideas do we have? We have 1, 2... Oh, we only have 3 admin ideas. While we have 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, It means we can probably do another admin idea group next, which means we could definitely change focus into admin here. Now that we have reached the full extent of our annexations that we want to do. We maybe want to integrate El Fatal and something like the Horde here and something here, but we are not in a hurry on that. So instead... Oh, by the way, we are currently for 4 years in a regency. So the next idea group is when? 50. Oh, we just unlocked it with 46. Ah. That's bad. That's far away. So I guess we can just afford to tech up here. We still need time to reach this threshold here. How much do we need for freeholding afterwards? So gentry. So I think we need like 20 years until we can do gentry, which is going to be the next episode. And then after gentry, the power will definitely fully collapse here. Due to the fact that they will lose another 15%. 15% power base here from here to here. Plus we of course are going to continuously demote them and pull their property. So from gentry to freeholding will probably be a lot faster, even though it's another 20 points in power that we have to get rid of. I think these ones will be a lot faster than from aristocracy to gentry. Yeah, they will really collapse quickly afterwards. Pushing them into gentry will really get rid of most of their power base then. It even reduces the aristocratic power from wealth if we push them to gentry. Less autonomy, less gravity. Yeah, it's the end of the... This is really the end of the nobility if we push to gentry, which is going to be happening very soon. We could do soonish the rational taxation reform here, for which we still need to do the last bureaucracy reform, which is this one here. Or these two in the end. Which gives us autonomy reduction and state corruption plus more bureaucratic influence. And the things will be quite nice. I think we definitely want an idea group that reduces corruption further, which is going to be admin here. Because I think that's going to fit well to the rest here. It's mostly these last 3 here. Although this one here is also really nice. Even though it's too late by now. I think it doesn't really matter anymore here. Yeah, but I think we definitely... Oh no, wait a sec. We also want industrialization idea here next on 50. So that's going to be the admin idea. I almost forgot about it. Which, however, means that we definitely want to push into admin. But we're going to wait like 10 years or something to get dip tech up before we do this. Because the next idea group is still a long time away. But that will be industrial. And then maybe we do another dip idea group here. Like trade or something afterwards. Yeah. Okay, as the last check here, let's check our cultures here. We have spread into Cyrenaica here. And also Egypt is halfway done by now. We also have parts of the steppe already converted here. What is quite sad is that we still do not push properly into Italy here. We have a little bit of a bug here with Drabos. I think this has to do with the Ostsiedlung, which converts these ones into Austrian, Slovenians into Austrian, if Austria owns them long enough. And I think with us conquering them and the Ostsiedlung modifier still active, it might have switched to our culture instead. So that's a little bit of a bug here. But everything else is proceeding nicely. I don't think that we are going to see too much progress though on long term. We still need to switch into the next reform. Here into appointed. I think we can actually do this now. Because I don't think we are going to drop too much instability from now on. Of course, we're going to see quite some unrest from this. But I think we can risk it. So let's go into appointed. Get that juicer reduction of autonomy. Of course, we sacrifice 10% taxation reduction cost. Which is also quite a lot on this scale of realm that we are owning here. But the autonomy... Interesting. But the autonomy will be worth it here. So we probably see a lot of impact from this eventually. So it will of course take a while to take effect here. But let's just wait for this year. Then we end it here. Because 0.15 is of course a pretty decent chunk of stuff. And I think it's going to be worth it. Let's see here in the Provence, for example, how well it will help us here. Probably our income will go down a bit first, or initially. So let's see. Yeah, we get this modifier quite strongly here. So this will be, on the whole realm, we will see the reduction by 0.15 now. Which is about 10% autonomy. So it's not super much, not gonna lie here. Because the total amount of autonomy is 0.18. But still 0.15 is gonna be a lot in regards to taxation costs and so on. And also it will push down the remnants here of Anatolia to 0. And even the capital is already, but stuff like, for example, Athens here will go down to 0 from this. Maybe even stuff like here, Cairo, for example, which is still getting improved by us. Harbour is still under construction here. I think this one is also not yet done. Nope, level 3 is still under construction. You can see here that's 80% now. And with the capital, we are on 80% as well here. So this will only get better. We still would need to improve this one further to get it even lower. But that's something for the future. This one is at what? 84%. Interesting. That's getting really good. So yeah, progress on all fronts here. And our income, let's see. 279 currently, 640 per taxation. And if you check out the details here, our biggest expenses are the military maintenance and recruiting. And Yeah, we are making massive amounts of money from taxation here. And land tax is our primary taxation that we are using here. And of course, like a third is coming from the peasants alone, which is to be expected here. Burghers are our second biggest taxpayer, of course, because they have immense amount of wealth. I'm gonna really say immense amount of wealth. So if we check, for example, Constantinople here, the burghers here are paying 123 in taxes. So that's a third, half from all the taxes we are making. No, not a third, but close enough here. And they have a massive inheritance tax here. So, and their wealth here, let's see, where's 800% fulfillment here, 2000 fulfillment here. For some reason, it's not filled though, so it could be much higher. Oh, it's only 2000 here. Interesting that the others have so much more exotic fulfillment. They're not even that rich. They could be even richer. Let's see here in detail. I know we don't have the wealth tab anymore, so we just have this one here. What's the per capita wealth here now? Oh wait, the per capita is shown here. It doesn't tell us. It's just the 0.964 for all elites. But still relatively rich. Yeah. But the nobles are really rich. But they are going to disappear. The clergy here is also really rich. Which is interesting. Oh, the noble resident stuff is still bugged. Yeah, we need to fix that. We also need to get M&T 7 eventually, because in about 100 years we are going to max this out. And that's only going to get quicker the larger we grow. So we have some projects to do here. Yep. But that's for the next episode. Leave a like and subscribe, and see you next time.